rabbits, weeds, soil, and gardener.
Bugs.
Okay.
Soil is something we do want, but and also gardener, but the bugs, weeds, rabbits, and raccoons we don't want in the garden.
Okay. So what if we take the soil and the gardener and we just put a circle around them and put a little question mark? We're not sure what we're going to do with those right now. But what's the same about bugs, raccoons, weeds, and rabbits? Is there a name that we have for them in English that we could call them as a group?
Pets.
Not pets, pests.
Pests.
Everybody say pests.
Pests.
Ooh, it's a hard one, right? So we've got pests. We have garden pests, we call them. That's why some people apply pesticide, right? Pesticide keeps weeds away. And there's certain pesticides you can put on that keep the animals away as well, right? Because when they bite it, it doesn't taste good, right? Yeah. So what if we called this group garden pests? Would that make sense? Yeah, and our garden pests are weeds, number one probably, right? Rabbits, raccoons, what else? Rabbits, bugs. Yeah. Okay, now we have ideas. Okay, now we have ideas, and we can think about, which order would we put these in? If you guys were writing, would you start talking about the things we use when gardening? Would you start talking about the things we grow? Or would you start talking about the pests? Where would you guys start?
I think it would start with those things what we grow.
Okay. Can you tell us why? Person in gray?
Because when we first started and then when we have that, then we need that supplies for the garden.
Okay. So these, you might start writing your paragraph, your sentences. These are all the things that I grew or like to grow in my garden.
Yeah.
And again, you're thinking about who's going to read this. And is this about my personal garden, or is this just about gardens in general? Okay? These are all things you would be thinking about while you're planning. Who's going to read this, right? So you could start with these are the things I grow, and then when we're writing, we always want to lead the reader. I always say you're taking the person who's reading it by the hand, and now you said, okay, now I told you about all the things I grow. Now I'm going to tell you about what I need to grow those things. Okay? We call that a transition. So we go from the things we need to grow, or that we like to grow, and then the things we need to grow them. And we might end with saying, but gardening isn't always easy. There are a number of pests that I need to think about while I'm gardening. And look at this, now your mind is bursting with ideas to write a paragraph or more. Maybe each of these will be its own section about your garden. Okay? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're not writing about our garden yet. Right now we're just planning that we would write about our garden. So that is called clustering. That clustering is that grouping. So we started with our topic. Thank you to the lady in black. We went on to brainstorming. Thank you to the lady in black for telling us what brainstorming means. Then the person over here in gray who has his hand up, he told us what clustering means, and we clustered these ideas together. This is what you guys are all going to practice. Yes?
But you could also use it even differently. Like, I like the thought.
Okay.
But you can totally go even totally the opposite. That is, if you would have to write about that, that would be like, this is what I like in my garden. But if you would give instructions, you would definitely start with the fertilize, hose, buckets, all that stuff that you need actually to grow the garden, right?
Exactly. So Albert's talking about a really good point. You know how I talked about audience? When we say audience, we often think of going to a concert and the people who are watching the concert. But when we're talking about writing, audience means those people who are going to be reading our writing. So we're always thinking about that. Then we're thinking about what Albert said next. What word is this? Purpose. What does purpose mean? What does the word purpose mean? These are two things that we want to be thinking about. Think about your audience and what is your purpose. So Albert, you were talking all about how you would organize it because your purpose wouldn't be to tell people about your garden, it would be
To give them instruction.
to give them instructions on how to garden. Oh, well then it has a totally different sound to it, right? So when we're writing, when we're doing this part of the writing process, we're always thinking about who is our audience and what is our purpose? What's our reason for writing? Okay, very good, awesome. Okay, so we've talked about brainstorming, we've talked about clustering, and we've talked about topic. Who has pre-writing? Pre-writing.
Me.
Okay, when you want to read that for us, lady in red?
Writing that you do before the final copy to help you organize your thoughts.
Excellent, thank you. So all of this is pre-writing. The thinking, the organizing, the writing your first draft that's very messy and whatever. All of this is pre-writing, editing, fixing, making those mistakes, taking things out. This is all pre-writing, and then at the end we make it look great. Okay, so it's those steps that we take. Very important. So pre means before. And I can always tell if someone's done pre-writing. Sometimes students hand me something, they haven't done any pre-writing, and I say to them, can I see your pre-writing? Remember, I said I want to see everything that leads to this. And they say, oh, can I do it now? I said, no, because you already did your writing. So let's start again, okay? Do your pre-writing. I know lots of people don't like pre-writing. My daughter's in high school, she hates pre-writing, but it's a necessary step to get yourself organized so you know what you want to write about. Okay, excellent. Writing process. Who has writing process?
Me.
Okay.
And organizing.
Yes, so the order of steps in creating a piece of writing. Thinking, organizing, writing, editing, and revising. Rewriting. Does anybody notice anything about the steps? What do you notice about the steps? If you look at the first letter of each of the steps.
Red.
They're red, thank you. You guys probably can't see it on here. Sorry about that, I should zoom in after. So these are each red. So we have, these are the letters that appear red. What else do you notice?
They're all
They're all capital and
Tower.
tower. It spells the word tower. What's a tower? Big tall
A huge
building.
tower.
A huge tower, a big tall building, right? So if you forget, what do I need to do to write? Tower. Think, organize, just write after you've thought about it. Then go through, edit and revise, and then rewrite. But don't worry, we're just focusing on those right now. Okay, little by little. Excellent, okay. Category, who has the word category?
Me.
Okay, what's a category?
Category is a group of similar things or ideas.
Exactly. So how many categories did we make with our brainstorm? 3. So really, category and cluster, same, right? 3 clusters, 3 categories. So a cluster, similar ideas, category, similar ideas. Excellent. What do we have left? Mapping. Who has mapping?
Me.
Yep.
A pre-writing step that follows brainstorming, a drawing with the topic in the center box or circle, and branches going out to other boxes or circles which have the main ideas with supporting points listed below them.
Okay, so we're not focusing, I'm not asking you guys to do mapping for this assignment. We're going to do just what you saw. We're going to do brainstorming and clustering, or making categories. But if we were to do mapping, I'll just show you very quickly how mapping works. And maybe some of you have done this before. Can somebody think, other than the lady in black, can somebody think of a topic? Because she already gave us our first topic. Can somebody give me another topic? And we're going to put it in the center in this circle. Ooh, they say if you can draw a perfect circle, you're crazy. I hope that's not a perfect circle. Anybody? Can someone shout out a topic for me?
Food.
Food! I love it! Okay, so when we think about food, what do we think about? What about food?
Pizza.
Pizza! Okay, tell me everything you know. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. Tell me everything you know about pizza.
Cheese.
Cheese. Someone help her out here. Crust. What else?
Pepperoni.
Oh, we have pepperoni on it. Don't know how to spell it.
Lettuce.
Sauce. Yep. What else?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Okay, so I'm already thinking, maybe this is going to be about my favorite foods. So I love pizza. Now I'm getting a little more specific. Okay, my favorite foods. Pizza is one of them. Somebody yell another favorite food.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we want ham, of course. What is a pizza without ham? Okay, what else? What do we have for favorite foods?
Donuts.
Come on, man, of course. Donuts. Okay, tell me everything you know about donuts.
Chocolate.
What's that?
Chocolate.
Oh yeah, we need chocolate on them.
Glaze.
We need glaze. What else?
Dough.
Dough, we need the dough. Yep. What else?
Filling.
We need filling. Of course, good Mennonite donuts. What else? Well, I think of Tim's. Come on, guys. Where's the Canadians around here? Tim's. Okay, what else? So we've got pizza, we've got donuts. What are another favorite food that we have? Come on, good Mennonite food. Chicken noodle soup. Come on, guys. Chicken noodle soup. Hey, tell me all about chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodles.
We got noodles, okay. We got noodles and we've got chicken. Now, how do I feel when I eat chicken noodle soup? Makes me think of my mom and my oma, and it smells amazing, and it gives me goosebumps because I love it so much, and I get really full when I eat it. So you just, no idea is bad, and then when you look at it later, you're like, okay, am I thinking how the food makes me feel? Here I just have ingredients, so how does pizza make me feel when I eat it? Oh, well, when I think of pizza, I think of a party. Order lots, because there's going to be lots of people coming. You ask yourself questions, and you can let your mind go, and your map gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Some people so did you notice what you're doing with mapping? It's like you're brainstorming and clustering at the same time. If you like this kind of thing, you go for that too. So it's just really doing the same thing. It's just that you're already making your groups while you're thinking. And you guys kind of already did that while we were brainstorming. You got on the things that grow, right? Lettuce, corn, da-da-da. And then Albert here was thinking more of like, no, I need my rake, I need my buckets, I need my hose. Oh, sorry, the guy in the gray. What was his name again? I forget his name. Anyway, yeah. So it's really mapping. Mapping is the same. It's just you're doing the same things, but just a little differently. Okay? That's mapping. All right? What do we have left, guys? Have we covered them all? Oh, no. Outlining. Who has outlining?
Me.
Okay. What's outlining, Susie?
Organizing the most important points or ideas before you begin to write something.
Okay. So did you notice we were kind of already trying to start to outline our garden one? We said, first we would have this, and then we would have this, and then we would have that. What would happen if we wanted to make an outline about our favorite food? Okay, so let's say we want each of these to be its own paragraph. What's a paragraph? Can anybody tell me what a paragraph is? Don't worry if you don't know.
Like on a white paper, what you have written on the organizing. Like you have the side, you have like a small written, like that would be a paragraph. You did on the same as
okay.
On the same what you start,
right?
Just you will keep going.
Yeah.
And that's one paragraph. And
yeah.
You will start a different one. You will start a different paragraph.
Exactly, a new idea, a new paragraph.
Yes.
So a paragraph, and we'll talk a lot about this, you guys. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But a paragraph is a group of sentences that are all about the same topic, right? So when you're reading a piece of writing, you can think of it, I know probably all of you read the Bible, so you can think of it when you're reading the Bible and you see that now the verses change, they go in a little bit, you can see the different paragraphs. So anytime the topic changes when you're writing, you start writing new sentences about a different little piece of the topic, you start a new paragraph, okay? So if I were to look at this and I wanted to write a nice long piece of writing, and I wanted to make an outline, don't worry, I'm just showing you what an outline is. So if I wanted to make an outline about my favorite foods, again, I'm thinking about my audience. So my audience is going to be you guys, so my students. So now I know how to write. I don't have to say, dear Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. Instead I'm like, okay guys, I'm going to tell you about my favorite food. Okay, it's informal, right? So you're my audience. My purpose, I'm going to say my purpose is to express or to tell my feelings. So tell my feelings about my favorite food. You notice how messy this is? I would be kicked out of Colony School for that. I'm just kidding. I get messy when I'm doing my outlines, okay? So this says my audience is my students. My purpose or my reason for writing is I want to tell you guys all my feelings about my favorite foods, okay? And I'm going to start with introducing my topic. So I'll have one paragraph that says, I would like to tell you about my favorite foods, yada, yada, yada. I love to eat. If I could eat every day, I would get so big and fat, right? Because I said I want to say how I feel. Eating makes me feel warm and happy. Okay? So I would tell you all of that in my intro, and I would write those ideas. Warm, happy, fat, yada, yada. Okay? This is my outline. Then I would choose probably my favorite one to tell you about first, right? Can you guys guess which is my favorite?
Donuts.
She says donuts, pizza. It's actually pizza. We're going to start with pizza. Now, I'll notice I have crust, cheese, ham, pepperoni. That doesn't really tell my feelings, right? I said that my purpose was to tell my feelings. So in my outline, paragraph 1 is about pizza. Pizza makes me feel really excited. It makes me think of parties. It makes me kind of hyper, maybe, Albert? Kind of hyper. Talk about like having those parties and being hyper when I'm eating pizza with friends. It's a food I eat with friends. Okay? Then I could decide, do I want my next favorite food? Or do I want to talk about another food that's a main course and then go to the dessert? I think that's the way I'm thinking. Because maybe I like these the same, but these two are more main course and this is more of a dessert, right? So then I would put my chicken noodle soup. How does an outline look, guys? And then I would say all my feelings about the soup, and then I would say donuts. And I would look here to see if I want to use things about my donuts. And then I would have a conclusion. What's a conclusion? Anybody? What is a conclusion? What does conclusion mean? We're getting ahead of ourselves here, but
Grabbing everything together again and make it in a short sentence.
right, a couple of sentences that says, again, if I could eat every day, every minute of the day, I would. And it would always be pizza, chicken noodle soup, and donuts, okay? So you're kind of closing it up. But an outline is lots of people like an outline because it's very neat. This is what I'm going to talk about first, yada, yada, yada. This is next, and it's very neat and set out. Again, I'm not asking you to do that for this assignment. We're just working with brainstorming and clustering. But this is what an outline is, okay? Have we covered all of them now? Think so? Have we? What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. So I want you to study those on Quizlet today, or tomorrow, or whenever you work on your work. Study these words on Quizlet. If it did not turn blue for you, let me know, and I'll send you the link again, and you can practice those words. Okay? All right. So if we go back to our checklist, you look at your checklist there. We kind of went ahead of ourselves. And we talked about a lot of the things that are going to be in this little package that says get ideas at the top. this here? Everybody see this, where it says get ideas? Okay, so when you're doing your pre-writing, you guys are going to be focusing on people. You're going to write about a person, or you're going to plan to write about a person from your life. What do you notice about all of these words that you see in those boxes? What kind of words are they? So we have funny, calm, kind, loyal, cheerful. What kind of words are those?
Positive words.
Positive words, yeah, they describe somebody's personality. So if you look at the bottom later on when you're working on this, pick some words from there that you feel describe your personality, okay? Then next, in the next one, you can choose a person you want to put in there. So you could say one of your kids. So if it was me, I could say my husband's personality, and then I would pick a number of these that I feel describe him. Here's your chance to learn some new words as well. If you're looking at this and you do not know what one of these words means, what do you do?
Go to the dictionary.
Go to your dictionary.
Glossary.
Okay, good glossary. That would be awesome, lady in red. But this one doesn't have a glossary, but that would be a great place to go. So in this case, you would either have to put it in your phone to find out the meaning of the word, or look in a dictionary. And I would like you to keep track of words that are new for you. So if you could get yourself a little notebook or in your own book, this is the best way. This is how I learned Spanish when I lived in Mexico. Anytime I heard a new word or read a new word, I wrote it down. And then I wrote the definition. That is the best way. So if there are some new words here for you, I'd like you to start keeping track of those words. Give it a circle and say, this is new for me, and then make a thing. Okay? So that's one activity that you'll do. So someone's already done brainstorming for you. You don't have to do the brainstorming, okay? Then flip it open, your package. And again, it's giving us a lot of words and ideas in case those words and ideas aren't there for thinking about describing people. Now here we're not describing personality. What are we describing?
The person's look.
Yeah, the person's looks, right? Various things about their looks, their age and their face and their hair, etc. And then again, it gives you a little chance to think about yourself. So it says my appearance at the bottom of page 23. It says my appearance, so you could pick some words from here that describe you.
Okay.
And then it says my partner's appearance. So we're not doing this with a partner in class. So you can, again, think of the same person that you were thinking of there. Okay? What is that person's appearance like? So all of this is just to get you thinking, because the writing that we'll do, or the pre-writing, the thinking and the organizing that we'll do for this assignment will all be about people from your lives. You're going to be planning to write about someone from your life. So you can already start thinking of those people. This is just like a little word bank to help you through that part of the assignment. Okay? So then it says, watch the pre-writing example for page 24 and 25. That is this. It looks like this. Everybody have it? If you don't, let me know. Yeah, exactly. So this is an example of a brainstorm. Now we've also done a few examples of brainstorming up here, but this is an example of the topic that you guys are going to be focusing on, and it's brainstorming about somebody named Adam. So if we look at that together, it says, brainstorming is a good way to get ideas for writing. When you brainstorm, try to list as many ideas as possible. Don't worry if it's a good or bad idea. Write down all of your ideas. For example, Sarah wanted to write about her younger brother Adam. To get ideas for her paragraph, she wrote the list of ideas, this list of ideas. Now, what do you notice is a little bit different about Sarah's list as compared to our brainstorming that we did? What would you say, would you notice that's a difference?
She outlined it a bit, or would it?
Okay, well she put them in lines, right?
Yeah.
When I did did our garden brainstorm, I kind of just put them all over the page. You can do it in a straight line if you like, that's totally fine. So she has done them in lines, but what else has she done a little differently than what we did? Does anybody want to guess?
That is from food and this is from personal.
Okay, so she has a different topic, of course, yeah, thank you. Yeah, she has a different topic.
And also she did not just one word, she made
Ah,
like a sentence.
that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, we were thinking one words, which is fine because you can build on those words later. But I would encourage you to try and do it a little more like Sarah, where she has given just more than one word, right? So her first thing about Adam, she says, I miss him. Younger brother, 10 years old, a little heavy, short for his age, the youngest, 2 brothers, 1 sister. So she's writing phrases. We call those phrases. Not the Mennonite phrase, not froese, for those of you who speak Spanish. Not that phrase, but we spell phrase like this. And a phrase is a group of words that gives you an idea. It's not a complete sentence, but it's a group of words that give you a little more. So if you can, see if you can come up with phrases instead of just words, but a mix is good too. If you have some words, I have no idea how I'm appearing to these guys, I have some that are just words and some that turn into phrases. That would be great. Okay? Now, if we flip it over, this is where Sarah has begun to organize her ideas by category or clusters, right? So if you look at that at the top, she's taken those ideas on the brainstorming page and now she has put them into groups, all right? So after you brainstorm, you will need to organize your ideas. One way is to organize ideas is by category or clusters. A category is a group of similar things. When you organize your ideas by category, writing is easier. You know which ideas to group together. Also, the reader can understand your writing better when similar ideas are grouped together. Look at how Sarah organized her ideas by category. What did she start with? What's her first category? Appearance. What does appearance mean, lady in red? You know? If we look at those words, even if we don't know what appearance means, if we look, we see curly, dark brown hair, brown eyes, a little heavy. What are all those words describing?
How the person looks.
Yeah, so now we know. Appearance means how the person looks. Yeah, so that's the way you can teach your mind to find the meaning without always having to go to a dictionary, right? What's the next category?
Life.
Life. So things about his life, right? He's a younger brother, he goes to school every day, yada, yada, yada. And the last category? Personality. So what's his personality like? So she not only uses the words, remember I gave you that little word bank that has all the words in the boxes? She doesn't just use the words, she then gives an example of why he's funny. Funny, plays jokes. Sweet, loves animals. Okay? So she's taken those ideas from that page, but she's made them a little bit more already. Okay? Awesome. So this, and then there's a bunch of questions about this below. This is something you can do in your work time on Wednesday or if you want to do homework. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, and then the last thing is when you start practicing your actual assignment. So you'll do all the pages, go through all the pages leading up, practice the Quizlet, watch a video again if you need to. Then it's time to start actually practicing the assignment. And this is the last page, or last, do you have this as well?
No.
You don't? Oh my goodness. That's no good. Okay. Anybody else missing it? Nobody else? Everybody else has it? Okay. So I hope I have another copy. You know what? If I don't, I will just pull it up here on my board because I probably want to do that anyways, so everyone at home can see it. So what do you guys notice? What's the first thing you're going to do in your practicing for your assignment?
Brainstorm.
You're going to brainstorm. Yeah. So let me just pull this up. Have you guys had experience with brainstorming before? Do you feel?
15 years ago.
15 years ago. So this is a good refresher. Hey, Karina? Yeah. And especially in another language, it can be a little bit, right? You're learning new words, and I would encourage you not to grab your dictionary a lot while you're brainstorming, or to grab your translators. Don't do that. Just do the English words you know, even if they're simple English words like good, bad. Later on, we can talk about how to make those words stronger. Don't spend, because if you grab your